All right, Saints fans. So I'm not gonna lie. When Drew broke his thumb, I thought the season was over. I went, that's it. The window's closed. Defense is getting wrecked. Dennis Allen is getting way too fucking cute. We're screwed. It shows why I don't know why anyone turns in and listens to me because my dumbass is wrong. um, so obviously gonna go over a bunch of instant reactions here. We got some great comments. We got some good questions. Gonna spend a lot of time on that. But before getting into any of the minutia or instant reactions from the game, I just have a couple quick things to say. Number one, the state of Louisiana owns the state of Texas from henceforth in the game of football. LSU, Cowboys, Texans, we're just handing out L's. And it was so nice of the Cowboys to just come to New Orleans and have a surrender party right down Bourbon Street. Because that's all y'all had. You had a surrender party. You didn't win shit, which is on brand for the Cowboys, because you ain't won shit in 30 years. And the other thing I'll say is this was a game where two mediocre quarterbacks. No, that's not fair. A slightly above average quarterback played even against a below average quarterback, which tells you which defense had the better game. I mean, I'm not going to get on the Saints offensive line a ton, although there will be more of that on the Tuesday show, provided schedules actually align this week, and we have one. Bottom line on that though, look, the Cowboys defense is really really good. I'm not gonna act like they're not. They're very good, and they're very good in particular in the areas where the Saints offense is good, which means they have a lot more trouble moving the ball against Dallas, especially with Teddy at quarterback, than they will against some other teams, just because not everybody has those linebackers, and it makes a big difference. But we can also clearly see there was something up with AK last year, because he didn't look like Alvin Kamara in that game. Now, obviously, part of it, I mean, Dallas was headhunting in that game. They were getting away with a lot of stuff, but they got away with a lot of stuff in this game. I've said it a million times, and I'll keep saying it. It's not about the bad calls. It's about the inconsistency of the bad calls. You call a terrible penalty on Von Bell. The exact same play happens later in the game. You don't call the penalty on Jalen Smith. Now, if you're an idiot, you can come out and go, well, what are they, you don't want them to keep making the same mistakes. Yes, I do. In this game, yes, and then the league should meet with the officials after the game, review it, and go, guys, under this circumstance, you can't make this call. But they need to be cognizant of, we called it this way earlier in the game, we need to call it the same way. That is how you create an even playing field. That is how fucking rules work. The same thing with the holding calls and all the other shit, and I'm going to start ranting here, and you know what? This is not the game for rants. This ain't even the game for me to talk about how mediocre as shit Teddy Bridgewater is. And if you want to talk about, oh, Teddy's 2-0, no. The Saints are 2-0 because since Drew went down, starting in Seattle last week, but really, really played unbelievable this week, the defense has been balling. Marcus Davenport had a phenomenal game. If you're a spreadsheet analyst, this ain't the game for you. Marcus Davenport was fantastic. Cam Jordan had a really good game. David Onyemata obviously had the key sack that was huge in the game. Sheldon Rankins made a somewhat surprise return, but the optimistic view was always that he would be back for Dallas at home. He had an impact overall, I thought the linebackers were good. Demario Davis had a great game. Marshawn Lattimore had a fantastic game, and some of it was definitely he came into this game wanting to play great. And he's a guy that doesn't always do that. I also think, though, some of that is him and his mentality, but you know what? Part of being the defensive coordinator and part of being a defensive coach is understanding your personnel. If Marshawn's a guy where you have to challenge him and he wants to play man coverage and that's where he's going to rise up, put his ass in man coverage, especially early in the game. Tell him, all right, cool, you're on the number 1 or you're on the number 2. You erase him and we will build the defense around you. If that's what it takes to get him in his own head playing right, do it. Stop getting cute. Stop doing dumb shit. Stop trying to make him Darrelle Revis. He's not. That's okay. Guess what? There's only a couple of those ever. But if he's a shut-down man corner, and that's where he needs to be the vast majority of the time, then you play that defense. If Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas are the two best players in your offense, you run the offense through them. Guess what we're doing? We're playing ball control. We're running the offense through them because Teddy can't make a play, and frankly, ain't nobody else on the roster that can. I'm going to reserve judgment on Jared Cook because he got open a lot today. And Teddy probably threw him about one catchable ball. That ain't Cook's fault. The defense was absolutely unbelievable. That end of the game was stressful as shit because Teddy took a dumbass sack that he never should have took. Now, it wasn't a great play call, but that was a dumbass sack. Like, you throw the ball away, Lutz kicks a field goal, you're up 5, it's a totally different game. But then the flip side, you know, you probably don't get him in the same field position, then get the sack, get him down to the 2. So, I mean, you know, we're not going to play the woulda, coulda, shoulda game, but it's just, it was more stressful than it had to be. But we got the win. And at the end of the day, the New Orleans Saints, which is the team we're all rooting for here, the New Orleans Saints are 3-1. That was the pipe dream. That was the hope that you would come out of this really tough stretch to start the schedule 3-1. That was what we did. If you go 2-2, and the next 4, and then Drew comes back, you're at 5-3. He only has to go 5-3 the rest of the season to make the playoffs. If he goes 6-2, you definitely have a home game. If he goes 7-1, you probably have a bye. Because I think a 12-win team will get a bye this year. It's a great win. It's huge for the defense to play like that. It's huge, hopefully, for Dennis Allen to have a wake-up call and realize the team plays better when you play them to their strengths. Also, I'll say this too. Having 4 first-round picks along the defensive line and a 5th man off the bench, so to speak, in David Onyemata that is really coming into his own has a huge impact on the defensive line. And it allows you to play more of the types of coverages that they really need to be playing. It was a great game. It was a stressful as shit game, but it was a great game. So let's go ahead and we're gonna get into the questions and the comments here. So let's see. The first one here is from Drummer 2571. I like this question. So Davis Douglas asks, I don't suppose the Saints are going to get a fraction of the slobber the press gives the Cowboys tomorrow. Not a chance, man. I mean, we all know Skip Bayless is an idiot and a troll, so we know Skip's going to be on First Take talking about my Cowboys are robbed, the officials did that, they did that, they hit Dak, that was roughing the... We know Skip's going to act an idiot. And we know Stephen A. is going to do the exact same thing in the opposite direction. He's going to make it all about how the Cowboys choked and have, nothing about the Saints defense held Zeke to, I think, under 50 yards and, balled the fuck out. They're not going to talk about any of that. They're just not. Just like you see guys like Colin Cowherd making comments about Drew Brees on the regular and saying dumb shit. Like, it's just we're never gonna get the respect. If we won the Super Bowl this year, all they're gonna talk about is how Tom got hurt or this or that or whatever circumstance allows us to win. It'll all be about them, not us. And you know what? I'm cool with it. I'm just gonna enjoy watching my team and rooting for my team, and I'm gonna thoroughly enjoy taking a big old shit right on them every time we beat one of their anointed teams. I also took a lot of pleasure in watching the Falcons get their asses kicked and Jared Goff look like shit. So this was a very good football day. Cheddar Chaz, been a while, man. Haven't seen you in a bit. When or can Teddy ever get his awareness back? The O-line isn't doing him any favors. It's a combination of things, and some of this is definitely theory. I think that we have discounted the combination of not having Drew, who does most, if not all, of the checks and stuffs of the line, and calling the coverages and recognizing what defenses are doing, and putting guys in the right spots, and also making the right reads so that guys look good. Not having him there definitely impacts the O line, but when you add on top of it, when you have a rookie center, and then you play a really good defense. I'm not making excuses for what happened today. It's unacceptable, but it does make sense. And I do think Teddy is having more of an impact on. He just processes things slow, guys. He just does. He doesn't process. He processes like a guy he's got the arm talent and enough ability to get out of college. He was the 32nd pick. Like we thought, he's a first-round pick. He was the 32nd pick. He wasn't a top 15 pick, and at that position, and that doesn't mean everything. I mean, there's plenty of guys that were taken later than that are great players, but like he wasn't a can't-miss prospect. He never was. He got overhyped at Louisville. When he was in Minnesota, he was a quote-unquote winner, but he was never the reason they won. There are difference makers. And there are players that are along for the ride, and Teddy was along for the ride, and that doesn't mean he did the things to make you not lose, but he rarely does stuff to make you win. Today he did stuff to make you lose, and the defense was so damn good it didn't matter, and I'll fucking take it. I mean, he's never had incredible awareness. He's always been a little goofy, awkward on the field. Like he's just not an incredible athlete. I mean, there's a and again, this is a media problem, but there's a stereotype because Teddy's a black quarterback that he's supposed to be, a Cam Newton or a Michael Vick. And, like, Teddy's a good athlete. I'm not, like, shitting on his athleticism. But Teddy can't make the plays that a LeVar – Teddy can't make the plays that a Taysom can make. He's not a running – he can run. Matt Ryan can run. But he's not a mobile quarterback. He's not one of those guys. He's not going to make those plays. The problem is he's also not a great pocket passer. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to shit on him, but it's just, let's temper expectations. He is acceptably mediocre, and if the defense keeps playing like this, and AK is looking like rookie AK again, acceptably mediocre is fine, because I'll say this. We will not play a defense as good as these Cowboys until we play Chicago. And we won't play another defense as good as these Cowboys or the Bears unless we face the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and they're the best defense in football. So that is a good thing. Teddy couldn't cost us the game against the second best defense we'll play all year, most likely. That's a good thing. That's a thing to take as a positive. And if the defense can keep playing like this, especially the front four, and if we can, Lattimore can play well, but also if we can keep putting him in a position to play well and to play confidently, it's gonna make a difference. Which actually that's accidentally a great transition into the next question from Davis Douglas again. Who had the better game, Lattimore or the defensive line? That is a fantastic question. You know what? I'm going to say the defensive line because I think here's the reason why. I thought Marcus Davenport was absolutely phenomenal in this game. They were moving him. He was impacting plays. He looked athletic. he was giving Tyron. I mean, we were talking about how much Brady Quinn was giving Tyron problems, and he was, and that some of that is Quinn's just that good when he wants to be, but I firmly believe some of that is definitely on Teddy and also the rookie. Um, but that said, um, it really is. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Shit happens. It's late at night. Um, Yeah, man, I just gotta I gotta take the defensive line because Davenport was awesome. Rankins was back. Onyemata made the huge play. Cam had some really good plays in the game. Um, but I'm gonna give it to the D line because I think there were lower expectations. This is what we should expect from Lattimore every night. Lattimore could do this every game if he wanted to. And want to is a part of it. It's not all coaching. Some of it definitely is. Dennis Allen does him no favors. But it's not all coaching. Lattimore can be lazy. He can be unfocused. He can and maybe some of that comes from the coaching, is he doesn't like the way they're using him and it's impacting his effort. And I'm not excusing it, but I'm trying to understand it. So I'm gonna say that the better game was the defensive line because to me, Lattimore did what I think he should do. I thought the defensive line was a little above expectation just under the circumstances. You know, Rankins being back, Brown being an impact player, Onyemata's sack, Davenport being a terror. I'm gonna give it to them. Really, both were phenomenal. So it's a trick question because the answer is both, but I'll give it to them. Saints Mex just gave us a great GIF of looks like a bit of a parade down Bourbon Street or somewhere in the city. I'm assuming this is mocking all those dumbass Dallas fans that were like, we're going to take over New Orleans. It's going to be 50-50. Bitch, it wasn't even 80-20. And I fully approve of that. Riker Toledano, did I just go back to 1991? I think I saw Ralph tweeting this at Saints Forecast like a million times today, and he was right. And he's like, this is more a football, and you just got to embrace it. No, screw you. I don't need to embrace it. I could be happy with the results of it, but I am not embracing it. Give me back my warp speed offense. I hate watching trash. And I just saw Cam Newton's hairdo. Speaking of trash, yeah, this definitely felt like an old school game. Big time. Rep. All them O's and zeros, bro. Did it call it or did I call it? Apparently, yeah. Rep tweeted out said he's gonna play lights out tonight. At me all you want. Hey man, I'm gonna need you to send one of those out every week now. And I did save the best one for last. Dale, Lil Dice 504. Are we sure Taysom is Mormon because he out here baptizing people? Man, you damn right. I'll tell you what, I'll wear the whole uniform and start ringing people's doorbells, being annoying at 5 in the morning if that'll help Taysom keep playing. He really loves running over people in the secondary. He really loves running over people in the secondary, and that's really good because I love watching him run over people in the secondary. Um, but yeah, no, this was a good win. This was a lot of fun. 3-1. It's one game, but there's a huge difference between 3-1 and 2-2, especially when it's with your backup quarterback, especially when it's against the Cowboys. Tampa Bay is mercurial. We'll see how they play. But even a game that they pretty much had put away, they almost gave it away, and Goff is not good. Now, unfortunately, neither's Teddy. But it's gonna be interesting, and you really gave yourselves what it really does is we now have a 2-game cushion. If we win a couple of games that we should, we can lose a game that we shouldn't, and it doesn't end our season. And that's a great thing. But yeah, the Mormon hammer baptizing people is just beautiful. We're going to end the show on that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the win as much as I did. Hopefully the Saints just give us a comfortable win next week. Like, enough with the blood pressure. stuff. Like, please. But yeah, this was really fun, and it was great to see a team win. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here to watch.